If you think that Xavien Howard's going to get traded, you're really going to like this video. So go ahead and smash that like button. It's right underneath this bad boy. Coming up here on today's show, I got 6 blockbuster trade ideas around the Miami Dolphins star cornerback. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and before we get into today's show, I want to give a special shout-out to Magic Spoon, today's sponsor. You don't need to look at my face. You can just look at this awesome cereal box here. If you're trying to eat healthier, luckily for you, not only has Magic Spoon created a healthy cereal, they have perfected one. 14 grams of protein, 4 net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and only 140 calories per bowl. Let's get into the latest around Howard and tell you basically why this even makes a little bit of sense here. So the report is that Howard is dug in for a pay raise. For those of you that don't know, he actually got a raise in 2019, but he wants more guaranteed dollars. Howard did not show up to mandatory minicamp for the Dolphins, which obviously kind of indicated some big-time issues here. You've seen multiple reports from multiple credited sources that have said Howard is not only unhappy, but he wants more money. And if he doesn't get more money, well, guess what? Then you might have to really ship him out. We don't really see big-time trades like this around cornerbacks all that often, simply because, like, when you're coming off a year with 51 tackles, 10 interceptions, and 20 pass breakups, usually teams do what they can to make you happy. What's interesting about this situation is, like, a year after essentially a player gets a brand new contract, 5 years, $75 million, now he's got an issue with the contract. That's a little bit lame to me, but that's just me being honest. However, if I'm his agent and I'm like, all right, shit, when this guy's healthy, he's one of the top dudes in the league. You can't deny that. 3rd in the NFL this past season in terms of votes for Defensive Player of the Year, behind only T.J. Watt and Aaron Donald. Those guys are pretty freaking good. But what the biggest issue does really come down to Howard's contract. So what I'm going to show you all here is his cap hit right now. But what the number that you can't see is the guaranteed dollars. So Howard's going to end up making $12 million guaranteed in 2021. But the next 3 years, nothing's guaranteed. From everything that I know, personally, it sounds like he just wants more guaranteed dollars, and he wants a little bit of a pay raise. So let's hear it here. I want you to comment your Xavien Howard trade ideas, because before I show you my 6, I want you guys to be creative. That's what Chat Sports is about. It's about seeing, thinking, and then interacting with each other. So if you could, I want you to comment your Xavien Howard trade ideas. My first one coming up here is around the Pittsburgh Steelers, and why this one makes sense. Any team that's going to go out and trade for Xavien Howard, the first thing you realistically probably have to look at is not only does the fit make sense, but do they have enough money to be able to do it? $15.3 million right now. That's the 10th most in the NFL. In terms of being a good fit in Pittsburgh, I grew up in Pennsylvania. I know how Steeler fans are. I know how the city of Pittsburgh is. Xavien Howard's a tough dude, and if he has that mindset, they're really going to like him. Plus, they also released Steven Nelson. Sure, Nelson was more of a nickel corner, but if you can add depth at this position, why not go out and try to do it? So here's the trade that I ended up cooking up here for the Dolphins and for the Steelers. Let me know down in the comments which side that you think ends up winning this deal. So the Steelers, they get Xavien Howard and Michael Deiter, left guard. The biggest reason why I included Deiter in this deal is because the Dolphins have some pretty good offensive linemen as it stands right now. You might be able to kick a few guys around, but for Pittsburgh, they just lost to Castro. I know they ended up bringing in Trey Turner, but that offensive line is an absolute dumpster fire. And then I have the Dolphins getting a 1st and a 3rd round pick in 2022. Now, today's show presented by Magic Spoon. I absolutely love these guys. I don't know about y'all. Growing up as a kid, I would have bowls of cereal every single morning for breakfast. Then I looked down, realized that I had a beer belly, and I was covered in acne at only 13. If as long as middle school can't be tough enough, then you're dealing with all this. But now, I wish I would have had this stuff when I was younger. This is cereal for adults. It's for kids. It's literally all ages, but it's actually healthy for you. MagicSpoon.com/chat is how you get the hookup. $5 off your very first order. It's low carb, so if you're trying to stay in shape, if you're trying to get that beach bod, it's going to work for you as well. If you're trying to put on a little bit of muscle, because, come on, who isn't, right? Look at this, 13 to 14 grams, the peanut butter one. If you love peanut butter, you don't need to see me. You want to look at this. You can go ahead and get it. It's sweet and delicious, and people ask me, like, would kids like it? Absolutely. This cereal is going to remind you of all the unhealthy cereal you ate as a kid, but it's actually good for you. And I'm actually going to tip my cap to Magic Spoon, because remember, like, growing up as a kid, you did all those, like, crazy fun things on the back of a cereal box? They have that stuff, too. They're absolutely killing the cereal game. It's MagicSpoon.com/chat. chat. $5 off your very first order. You can also get a pack of one, or I guess a box of one, if you will. You can also get a box of 4. And also, the best thing about this cereal, it's not like a lot of companies where you get the box, you open it up, and it's filled up to like here. No. When you open this thing up, it's literally to the very, very brim. I promise you, you guys are going to absolutely love this stuff. I don't know if Xavien Howard eats it, but he probably should. Go to magicspoon.com/chat. $5 off your very first order. Let's go to the next team here in my Howard Trade Destinations video. I got the San Francisco 49ers. They've been linked to multiple free agents out there, maybe like a Richard Sherman, maybe like a Brian Poole. They're still just trying to add a little bit of depth to that cornerback room. I like Jason Verrett a lot. When he's healthy, he's a top 10 cornerback in my personal opinion. The biggest issue is he's got a long, lengthy injury history. So if you don't know if Verrett's going to be able to stay healthy and you still want to be able to bring in a top corner to that defense, a guy to consider is Howard. They have $17.8 million, 7th most right now in the National Football League. And if you're San Francisco, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror like, we are a Super Bowl caliber team if our defense can stay healthy. If you're really worried about a few of your corners being able to stay healthy, then maybe what you ultimately do is go out and make a move for Howard. So I like this trade idea. This one's a little bit ballsy, but you know what? Sometimes you got to be a little bit ballsy if you want to go ahead and make a good trade. I got a 2nd-round pick going to the Dolphins, K'Wan Williams, who could also end up playing in the nickel. And then D Ford as an edge rusher. The 49ers, they get Howard. D Ford is a phenomenal player. Can't stay healthy. The reason why I have 2 players is because, well, San Francisco gave their 1st-round pick to Miami, still don't have one. And I really think if you're not going to get a first for Howard, you better get 2 other players that you could potentially put in some starting positions here. Also, you could put K1 in slot, then maybe move Noah Igbenogany out to his outside corner position since he did struggle so much last season. Now, if you guys love the NFL, I want you to go ahead and hit that big red button for more free videos. We're pumping out content, literally 2 videos every single day. Going live Monday and Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. And if you like NBA videos, guess what? We're making those too. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. If you already subbed, send the link to some friends. We are so close to 250,000 subscribers. We can't do it without y'all, so please go ahead and subscribe. Let's go to the next team here. It's the Arizona Cardinals. And in terms of money, this is the team that might have the biggest issue going out and getting Howard because $11.3 million, 16th most, which simply is not going to be enough to have him. But if they can restructure some contracts, if they can move a little bit of money around, I believe they can make it happen. And if you want to talk about a team that's been aggressive over the last 2 years, I mean, talking about trading for DeAndre Hopkins, going out and trading for Rodney Hudson, going out and signing J.J. Watt, signing A.J. Green. I mean, this team is in all-in mode. You lose Patrick Peterson in free agency. You have Byron Murphy. You have some solid cornerbacks, but let's face it, if you can add X to the outside there, that's totally changing. And a lot of people kind of rip on the Cardinals a little bit. This is a tough-ass division, and if you want to be able to compete in the NFC West, maybe making a move for Xavien Howard is what you need to do. So here's my trade idea here, and not really that the Dolphins need another linebacker because they got Benardrick McKinney. They already just gave Jerome Baker a 3-year extension. But if Jordan Hicks is on the trade market, and if the Cardinals have already said, well, guess what, man, if you want to seek a trade, you can go ahead and do so. If you can get Jordan Hicks, who is a great linebacker, over 100 tackles last season, just simply because they drafted Zaven Collins, why not? I mean, I bet you Brian Flores, one of the best coaches out there, could figure out a way to make this guy work. So let me know down in the comments which team wins this trade. Losing my mind here. I'm curious, though, have you guys ever been to Blockbuster? Give me a Y for yes or N for no. I know when you came across the title, you're like, Blockbuster trades, like, what the hell does that even mean? It just means, like, monstrous trades. But I got a guy who's a new intern here at Chat Sports. He was born in the 2000s, and I don't even know if he knows what Blockbuster is. Ryan, do you know what Blockbuster is? He's giving me the thumbs up. Have you ever been to one? And he gave me a thumbs up. All right, guys, we're making progress. Have you ever been to Blockbuster? Y for yes, N for no. If you're just a Netflix fan, well, don't worry. I'm chilling with you there, too. I'm a big Netflix guy. All right, let's go to the next team here. I got the Los Angeles Chargers. No chilling, just Netflix. Howard, he can definitely try to slow down Patrick Mahomes because, let's face it, if you're any team in the AFC West, if you have an opportunity to try to slow down the best quarterback in the league, arguably the best player in the league, you got to try to figure out a way to do it, right? They lost Casey Hayward this offseason. You also lost your defensive coordinator and Gus Bradley as well, which could maybe flux a few different things. But for the Chargers, like you have Derwin James, who's a solid player in that secondary. He's a safety. Your other two corners are kind of unknown commodities, right? So if you have enough money to be able to do it, you have Chris Harris Jr., who probably got one of the best contracts in all of free agency, 2 years, $20 million, but he could end up playing in the nickel. Then you could bring in this guy. I mean, you have $19.9 million. Why not get a little bit aggressive? So in terms of what do I believe is the actual value for Xavien Howard, if Miami can't get at least a first or a fourth round pick for him, I believe you failed. The only reason why I say that is because if the Jags can get 2 firsts for Jalen Ramsey and then pay him $20 million, why can't you get at least a first and a fourth? Plus, sure, the team's going to have to pay him. But this guy's coming off a 10-interception season. If you can't get at least a first or a fourth, man, I don't know what you're really ended up doing. Now, if you guys made it this far in the video and you enjoy what we're doing here at Chat Sports, if you think I'm doing a halfway decent job, you can always hit me up on Instagram. I'm at MitchellRentz365. I'm actually going to be doing a IG Live this weekend, so if you guys want to check it out, please go ahead and do so. If you have any questions about anything you saw on today's show, please hit me up. Again, it's down there below. Let's go to the next team here, Jacksonville Jaguars. I just believe Urban Meyer is just going to be super ballsy this year. Just going to go try to just boss the walls. But they could use an upgrade at corner. No disrespect to C.J. Henderson and Trey Herndon, but they're just not as good as, Xavien Howard. Jacksonville's also been very aggressive this offseason. Them and the New England Patriots, they were just blowing money fast, left and right, and yet they still have the most money in the NFL, $38.5 million due to cap space. So what about this trade idea here, okay? I know a lot of Dolphins fans will probably like this one. A 2022 first-round pick and James Robinson, the running back. The Jags get Xavien Howard. I know Jacksonville right now likes Robinson a lot. UDFA had over 1,000 yards, I believe 1,077 to be exact last season. But the Dolphins also wanted the running back. They didn't get one in the draft. They didn't really get one in free agency either. So why not go out, maybe get James Robinson, send him back down. I believe he was from UCF. I could be totally wrong on that. But either way, you could end up bringing him down, could be the number one running back, and then maybe the Jags will actually use Travis Etienne the correct way instead of trying to balance both of these running backs out. Let me know down in the comments, Dolphins or Jags, where's he from? Illinois State. I'm not even close. So just everyone type L down in the comments. All right, guys, how about you predict this? Where do you think Xavien Howard will get traded to? I don't know where UCF was coming from. Just call me L UCF from now on. But seriously, where do y'all think Howard will get traded to if he does end up get traded? Because a lot of different teams could be out there. All right, let's go to the last team on the list. We got the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell wants to start on the right foot. The Lions have been kind of a dumpster fire franchise for quite some time now. I don't really think I'm being a jerk by saying that. Let's just face it. Jeffrey Okudah, he had an up-and-down rookie season. You can't really dispute that. They lost Darius Slay last season to the Eagles. Like, they're still looking for a shutdown corner. And if X can stay healthy and Jeffrey Okudah can be the player that the Lions drafted 3 overall in 2020, that's a dynamic duo, if you ask me. They have $17.9 million, 6th most in the NFL. So, Detroit, if you're watching, let's make it happen. So, here's my idea, and this one might be a little bit off the wall, but it's all good. A first-round pick in 2022 and Trey Flowers. Has Trey Flowers been anywhere close to being as good as what the Lions paid him? 5 years, $90 million? No. But I also know this. I believe if the Lions had an opportunity to get rid of Trey Flowers, they would do it. And maybe Flowers would end up playing halfway decent. The last time that he played well was actually also with Brian Flores when Flores was with who? The New England Patriots. Maybe it's something to think about. So what do y'all think of here? We have a lot of Xavien Howard traits. He seems like he's dug in, and if he doesn't get that new contract, he could be doing some bon voyage. Speaking of that, I'm actually heading out here too. Have a good weekend.